Hello, everyone. It is August 1st, and I just wanted to communicate about this event I just went to in Lisbon. So it was a tribe event, and it was incredible. It was full of these online entrepreneurs, and they're all making an incredible impact on the world. I was very lucky to have been in an Airbnb with four other guys, and the five of us, we just connected immediately. And I never really had that before. I have my friends and I love my friends to death, but I've never had friends in the online entrepreneurial space. I have friends from back home, which I love to death. These friendships are over 20 years old. And actually, one of my best friends is literally the kid I approached to first when I first moved to the United States. The kid who I approached in kindergarten class went straight up to him and say, "Hi, my name is Mateo." That kid is one of my best friends today. Shout out to Sasha, one of my best friends. But as I moved into the entrepreneurial space, it was a lot of guesswork. I've seen some entrepreneurial success stories and I've connected online, but I have not yet spent extended amounts of time with these online entrepreneurs until this event. I have met people. I actually met Homer Helios. I met Scott Barry. I met some of these people in person, but I've not spent a lot of time with online entrepreneurs until this event. So I'm very thankful for this tribe event. It's been absolutely incredible. The one thing I wanted to focus on this episode, on this week's episode, is the mindset these people had. I was in an Airbnb with four other guys, and they were all just incredibly charismatic people. They were all very hardworking. Their character was absolutely phenomenal. One of them, he's 24 years old, and he just had a $560,000 month. And he is so inspiring. He's such an incredible person. Right. So we were sharing this Airbnb for 4 nights and 5 days, and I was picking their brains and everything because I'm just over a year doing this online business, but there's so much to learn. I'm not ashamed to say it. I was the oldest guy there. I'm 27. One of the other kids was 26, and he was making around 100K a month, I believe. Then the other two were around 22 years old, and they were crushing it as well. So in this tribe event, we rode Jeeps. We had a bunch of dinners. We had some incredible speakers at the event talking to us about market projections. But I wanted to focus more about what would happen after the event when we would come home to the Airbnb and the discussions we would have. It was absolutely phenomenal. One of the things I never thought I would see, I wasn't expecting this at all, is that after our third night together, after spending time together, observing ourselves in these events and how we react to obstacles and just life, the guy who just had a $560,000 month, he sat down and he initiated this conversation. It was so powerful. He sat down, he said, "Hey guys, I respect you guys so much. I've spent a lot of time with y'all. I've seen how you work. I respect your opinion a lot. Is there anything you've noticed now that you've gotten to know me for a while that may have rubbed you the wrong way? Whether it's maybe some behavioral aspect I have, maybe something I said. Is there something that rubbed you the wrong way? I would love to know what it is, and I'd like to improve." Just hearing that blew my mind. This guy's already making so much money. It's very impressive at his young age. I know many people who, if they were in that situation, making that much money, they would walk around with an air of arrogance. But to hear him specifically have the humility to reach out like that and say, "Hey, I respect you guys and I would love to hear what you guys have to say," it was inspiring to see. So we all shared, we all went around, we each told each other our first impressions and things we could improve. Then they got to me. So I had been working while I was there with my laptop. And one of the common theme with something they all told me is that, "Mateo, you ask a lot of questions. You're very curious. You're very funny. You have a very analytical mind. But something we noticed is that you have an air of comfort around you. You lack a sense of urgency in what you do." And that really stuck with me because my background is different from these guys in that entrepreneurship was not my first choice. See, I came from a corporate consulting background. I was very comfortable with my pay. I liked the security that it gave. And it wasn't until I was basically strong-armed to get out of the matrix, and I'm forever thankful for that, that I started living in that world and seeing that it was possible. So I have to give acknowledgement that that decision did not come from me. Okay. But now that I'm in it, it's a daily decision to work on it. I really respect entrepreneurship, but it was definitely the hardest thing I ever did was step out of that corporate funnel. I had to lose all sense of security, start from zero, start earning way less money than I did in my corporate job. That is something that took a lot. I had to swallow my pride and just accept that I'm in the season of learning, not earning. But because my background came from getting paid every 2 weeks, and I've been sitting on some savings and investments, it was crazy that these guys could see that. that I have been moving through life with an air of comfort. And I just didn't notice that. If these guys could notice that within 3 days of knowing me, then I knew I had to change. So I asked them, I was like, all right, guys, I hear you and I respect your opinions. Have you guys always had that sense of urgency within everything you do? And if not, what is some piece of content or advice that you consume that could help me find the same? And they all said, David Goggins Can't Hurt Me. Specifically the audiobook, because in the audiobook, they read the audiobook, but they also have David Goggins himself kind of give like a podcast type feedback to what you just read. So I immediately got an Audible account and I bought Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. As of right now, I have listened to 6 chapters of the 11 chapters total. And I'm telling you guys, this book is insane. Insane what this guy does. And you know what? It also speaks to something about the Airbnb house. These kids, these guys, I was always doing certain strange things and getting strange looks for wanting to change my life and doing certain things. For instance, mouth taping myself, doing an Ironman with no training, all these different things I've done. But when I was in the Airbnb, when I had to wake up one of the guys, literally when I opened the door to wake him up, he had mouth tape too. And then that started a conversation where the other guys were also mouth taping, and just small similarities like that. It was reassuring to show me that, yes, you're on the right track. You're on the right path. This is your tribe. But with David Goggins, his mindset, obviously he had a much rougher childhood than I did. His obstacles were insane, but there was a similarity between his mindset, the guys in the Airbnb house, and mine. And that is the ability of building a callous mind. I've worked really hard on building a callous mind. I love to challenge myself. And watching these Airbnb guys do the same has been amazing. But also listening to David Goggins' thought process of how to do that has been phenomenal. And so if you guys have been following me for a while, you know I love physically reading books because I physically love highlighting the books, and I am a visual learner, so I retain it better in my mind. But I've been taking notes on the side, and I will be uploading those notes to the Plus Ultra Library, the Literary Society. So this is going to be the first ever audiobook uploaded to the Literary Society for you all to consume absolutely for free. And I wanted to communicate a little bit more of that experience with the Airbnb and the tribe event. It was phenomenal, phenomenal. And if I'm speaking to you and you are also feeling a bit comfortable with where you're at, I highly suggest you check out David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me book. And each chapter has its own challenge. That was really helpful too. Each chapter has actionable steps that you should take to really elevate your life. So let me just read through. For instance, let me just read challenge number 3. So when you finish chapter 3, this is challenge number 3. Write down all the things you don't like to do that are good for you. Then go do them. Do something that sucks every day. And then when it becomes comfortable, make it suck again and or add a new thing that sucks. Make your weaknesses your strengths. And take a photo of yourself in the discomfort zone. The only way to become hard is to do things you do not like to do. So triple down on your weaknesses. I also absolutely love his concept of taking souls, where you do something that's considered impossible to a normie and you just see their mind just break. You've taken their soul. I've taken souls in my life and I love it. It's one of the best feelings in the world. But hearing him put it in words like that, I didn't know that there was such a nice way to say it. For instance, in the last interview I had with Johnny Pace, we were talking about potentially swimming the English Channel. That is from France to the UK. That is a 20-hour swim. And you have to coat yourself in animal fat, put it on a wetsuit, put your passports on a ship, and the ship will accompany you as you swim. I looked into it. This is something I will do before I die. But just sharing that to people, and I've shared it to really strong swimmers. I did not swim in high school. I swam as a kid and I played a little bit of water polo in college, but I'm not a collegiate swimmer. But I've spoken to kids who have much more swimming training than I have, and just communicating with that, you just broke their brain. They don't even consider it possible. But then you see a picture of like an 80-year-old woman who did it. This is totally doable. So this is one of those concepts of taking souls that I'm going to do absolutely. And I'm going to share that with everyone else in the following episode. So if you have something you want to do and it's going to absolutely blow people's mind, that's a taking a soul event. Absolutely do it. Double down on it. And I'll see you guys at the next one. Plus ultra always. Take care. Peace. Hoo-yah!